Somewhere in this region of the world, this snake's about to jump from 90 feet up in a tree. Not because it's suicidal, but because it can fly. That's definitely proof that even snakes get tired of ground traffic. Oh, by the way, that snake is your mom, and there she goes. Great. You've picked quite the moment to hatch, just in time to witness her one-way flight to a permanent child-free vacation. You're now on your own with your siblings with absolutely no instruction for what comes next. I hate to tell you this since you can't even crawl right, but your first flying lesson starts right now. And by lesson, I mean one flight attempt where it's a race between your instincts and gravity, and second place is not an option. Your siblings volunteer as test pilots. They're gonna demonstrate how it's done. Okay, maybe not him. That's one way to meet the ground. Well, I guess being born with the ability to fly doesn't mean being born with the ability to land. This sibling appears to have mastered the basics. Well, here goes nothing. Might as well follow him to that branch. That's a proper J-shape hang, meant to be your launch position, not just a dramatic pose for your last selfie. And? Wow. It's your turn now. Your muscles tense up for your first diving competition, except the pool's about 90 feet of pure air and your only safety net is, well, there isn't one. No pressure, but those dots circling above are eagles, and they're not exactly here to welcome you to the neighborhood. Apparently this wasn't challenging enough already. Mother Nature really has a sense of humor today. Well, YOLO. Look at that. Those spreading ribs of yours just turned you into a living pancake, doubling your body size. You're doing this slick S-shaped dance through the air. Not because you're panicking. Okay, maybe a little, but... Oof, that was close. As I was saying before we were so rudely interrupted, those side-to-side movements aren't just for dodging your responsibilities. You're basically swimming through the air to keep your stability and precisely change direction to dodge predators and obstacles. Physics is wild. Your body instinctively starts to slow down as you approach your target branch. Good thing, because this landing needs to be more calculated than a pro chess move. Except checkmate here means death. Congratulations, you didn't die. So far. But let's rewind about 20 million years to see how we got here. Your great-great times a million grandparents weren't exactly the aerial acrobats you are today. Back then, life was simple. Climb trees, eat stuff, try not to become stuff that gets eaten. When they needed to move between trees, they had two options. Take the long way around or experience the excitement of falling and see what happens. The ground wasn't any friendlier back then. Monitor lizards have been running the same all-you-can-eat buffet for millions of years. At some point, some of your ancestors got creative during their falls. Most of the time it didn't work, but sometimes they got results. The ones who figured out this trick had a slightly better chance of not becoming lunch, and that's where your genes were starting to take notes. Fast forward through a few million years of trial and error, and your ancestors' ribs started spreading wider, and their scales got more flexible, and their bodies learned that sweet S-shaped wiggle. Somewhere between 10 and 5 million years ago, these evolutionary happy accidents became the family business. Those who couldn't spread their ribs got their branch of the family tree pruned, while the ones who mastered the art of not dying kept passing on their genes to the next generation. So here you are, millions of years of evolution compressed into one sleek aerodynamic package. Time for you to discover that genetic heritage that those countless ancestors fought so hard to pass down to you. Life up here follows one simple rule. The ground is lava. Monitor lizards, civets, and larger snakes patrol below. They play a fun game called Catch the Falling Snake, so landing there is... Actually, better not to think about this for now. Let's be honest, your first few flights are pure chaos theory in action. Near misses, accidental successes, and definitely some moments that would have gone viral if snakes had smartphones. Which they don't. Each landing teaches you something new, like how to read the wind and where to aim your next jump. Everyone else sees trees. Flying snakes see a network of highways where every branch is an exit and every gap is an express lane. The higher the branch, the better the spot, at least according to your current real estate checklist. Though, unlike real estate agents, your competitors are perfectly fine with eating you if you get too close to their property. And up here, every promising branch could hide a hungry predator, so you always have to stay alert. After all this aerial acrobatics, you're getting hungry. Let's see what's on the menu. Tree-dwelling lizards, frogs, insects. Sadly, your Uber Eats driver gave up after seeing the 90-foot climb. Looks like you'll have to master the art of self-service. Look at that, your first potential snack. This is your chance. You first analyze your launch spot, knowing each branch offers a different trajectory, wind exposure, and angles of attack. The wind conditions, the angle, everything's perfect. This is the moment all that training's led to. Your body flattens out in the perfect silent approach from above. No footsteps, no rustling leaves, just pure aerial ninja skills. And Nice try, but your lunch is already in another postal code. A few more embarrassing attempts follow, but eventually you end up catching something. It's not much, but it'll do. Time to get back to premium branch hunting because the forest's hottest listings don't stay vacant for long. Look who else picked the same branch. Wait, oh, that's your sibling from this morning. Unfortunately, they're not here to start a real estate family business with you. You decide to retreat and... Okay, time to update the checklist. Who would have thought being a coward would save your life? You go and pick that spot instead for your next adventure. However, something doesn't feel right. But what? Yeah, right. Gravity. You know what touching the ground means. Too bad it looks like this is where your story ends. Wait. Apparently you're so tiny that this giant thought you were just another fallen branch. Remember, you're currently barely 10 inches long, and... Time to get the hell out of here. Your body instinctively knows what to do. Grip the bark with your belly, arch forward, anchor your rear, repeat. Look at you go, riding those microscopic ridges all the way up. Much safer up here. Lucky you, no predator was nearby to witness your mistake. The view's way better from this height. As weeks pass, your routine consists of hunting during the day and cozying up in tree hollows during the night. Each season brings different winds, and you've learned to adjust your flight patterns accordingly. 2 years later, you've turned into a fully grown adult flying snake. You're now 40 inches long and have upgraded your diet, from whatever crawls slowest to premium aerial delicacy. Not only that, but you can now glide up to 330 feet in optimal conditions. For every story you drop, you're covering 3 stories forward, outpacing many winged flyers in pure glide efficiency. However, among flying snakes, the air highway system follows strict rules you know nothing about so far. Your species isn't exactly territorial, but you've learned the hard way that better launch spots aren't just for convenience. Your life literally depends on it.